What's going on, everybody? Brian from Big Kahuna Gaming here, and I'm here to show you my top 32 Yellow D-Brigade list. I came in at 24th place out of 440-something people at the Core TCG Regionals the other night, and I'm super excited about that. My first ever Regionals. I did a lot better than I thought I would, and I'm here to show off this list because this has been the list that I've been playing all of BT5, and let me show you what I got. Starting out with the babies, I got 4 Sumamon and 1 Missimon. The biggest change that I've made from the beginning of the season to now was I used to have 4 Missimon and 1 Sumamon, but after playing a couple of tournaments, I decided, hey, I need to go ahead and do this. I needed 3 more Sumamons because Sumamon's a lot better for this deck, unfortunately, than Missimon is. I know this is the D-Brigade egg, but Sumamon just does more for the deck because it makes the math work in your favor. It turns your 5k Command Dramons into 7k Command Dramons, basically guaranteeing that it swings over all the 5k blockers and the 6k blockers. And it also, if we're going into a meta full of more Rookie Rush decks, like the Bond decks are probably going to be Rookie Rush based unless the ancient packages take off. And so being 7k means you're going to survive a whole lot more than you would be. And, you know, not only does this turn the 5Ks into 7Ks, it turns the 3K Command Dramon into a 5K, which means it also trade with all the 5K blockers. It even turns the Hagurumon, because I'm playing Hagurumon as well, it turns the 3K Hagurumon into a 5K Hagurumon, which is actually pretty great, because that means it also eats the 5K blockers. So this is definitely the biggest change I made to the deck since I played in my first 2 tournaments. And it's definitely the decision that I regret the least. I'm very proud of this decision. I'm glad I finally just pulled the trigger on it. Because, you know, it's not that they were expensive, but I just needed to take the time to order them and make sure they came in time. Maybe once BT6 rolls around, I'll add some number of Pagumons to this. Probably cut the Missimon and a Sumamon. But that's going to require testing. Although Pagumon is really good because, you know, it can draw you a card. So let's go ahead and go into the rookies. In case you're not familiar with D-Brigade, I'm playing 16 Command Dramon. It's all the Command Dramon that are in the game currently until they come out with another one. Come on, Bandai. 1 more Command Dramon. I'm also playing 2 Dark Dramons. And then to round out the Black Digimon, I've got 4 Hagurumon and 2 Tankmon. So, Command Dramon package right here. Anyone who plays D-Brigade knows you need all 16 Command Dramon. You can't cut any of them for one of 2 reasons. The first reason is for the rare Command Dramon. With the on-deletion, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you may play 1 Command Dramon among them without paying its memory cost, and then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. This card is so good at replacing itself, and that's kind of what makes the black version of Rookie Rush, you know, viable. You know, because there's a good chance, because you're going to have 15 other Command Dramon in the deck when this thing dies, the chances of you hitting it are pretty decent. So it just gives it a resiliency that other Rookie Rush decks don't inherently have. And not only does this thing benefit from having Command Dramons in your deck, but this thing benefits from watching your Command Dramon die. So Dark Dramon here is the level 6 D-Brigade with Rush, and on play, return up to 5 Digimon cards with D-Brigade and their types from your trash to the top of your deck in any order, and for each card you return this way, you gain 2 memory. So basically, your Command Dramon are going to die. They're not the biggest Digimon. I know I said the 5k is going to live a lot, but the other ones aren't going to live. The blocker's going to get deleted. You're going to kamikaze the 1k for the trigger, and the 3k is just the 3k. He's going to die a lot, but that's okay, because once you have 5 of these Command Dramon in the trash, this guy's a 3 to play rush 11k. This guy steals more games. It's basically Bushi for game. If you've ever seen people Bushi for game or Lobo for game, Dark Dramon for game is a lot more prevalent than I thought it would be. I'm only playing 2 because these are the only D-Brigade in the deck. If I was playing Seals Dramon or even like the Tank Dramon, like the full D-Brigade engine, I'd probably play like at least 3. But because it's only these guys, I don't want to risk having too many of these in my opening hand because these are bricks in the very beginning of the game. But aside from the rare Command Dramon, we've got the 2-drop Command Dramon, 2-drop 3k vanilla. That's all it is. Every Every color has at least a couple of these, and it just so happened the black's one is the Command Dramon. So that was very exciting. I'm glad to have the 2-drop. For the same reason I have these Higurumon over here, because I'm playing a total of 15 2-drops. So 15 2-drops means I can play this memory choke game a lot more aggressively than my opponents can. So they can do it maybe once or twice, but I can do it back to back to back to back. And while they're struggling to advance the board, I'm putting a 2-drop out every single time. And if I'm patient with it, I can swarm the board before they get a chance to play their big boss. And as long as they don't board wipe, you set yourself up for a killer turn. Over here I have the 5k Command Dramon. This is the one I was talking about with the Sumamon. This is the one that I want on top of a Sumamon the most, because if he becomes a 7k, it becomes a whole lot harder to kill. Obviously the effect only lasts on your turn, but that's when you want to be 7k. You want to be 7k when you're swinging for game, swinging through blockers, and surviving checks. This is the one I want in my opening hand the most, because he's 4 to play normally, and you don't want to pay 4 for this guy. So this is low-key one of my favorite Command Dramons of the 4. Like, obviously the rare one's my favorite, but this one is like creeping up in my rankings. And then we have the newest one, the one from BT5, the blocker. He's a Command Dramon. There's not much to say about it. He's there for the name. He's there for blocker. Having blocker is a lot better than I thought it would be in this deck. Even though it's an aggressive deck, being able to have the rare kamikaze and then flip over a blocker, it means, cool, there's a chance I don't die the next turn, which means I can crack back and go for the game. So having blocker was surprisingly useful, and I'm very glad that it wasn't just a vanilla Command Dramon. And then the last black Digimon in the deck is 2 Tankmon. He's really just there because I wanted a little bit more draw, because most of the draw from this deck is going to come from Digivolving. So this is just one more thing to Digivolve, plus it's a 6k. If you've played a lot of Rookie Rush or you played against it, you know that the bodies aren't huge. So Nidhoggmon, Shoutmon, now Jessmon coming into the BT6, they can take care of 5ks pretty easily. And even like Lord Nightmon can Pickmon into Nightmon combo kill. But 6ks are a lot harder to deal with. And if you're patient with your 6ks, you don't suspend them too often against green, they won't get Nidhogged away, and you can retain a pretty decent board. So there's only 2, because I had to make space for some of the yellow cards, but I definitely don't regret having these 2. Maybe in the future I'll have space for a little bit more, but for now I think the ratios for the black cards are exactly where I want them to be. Alright, now we're going to go into the yellow cards. We have 4 Starmons, 4 Pulsemon, 3 Tsukaimon, 4 Falcomon, and 2 Terurimon. Let's get the 2-drops out of the way. We got 3 Tsukaimon, 4 Falcomon. Same reasons I was talking about Higurumon and the Command Dramon. 2-drops for days. I've got 15 2-drops. It's like the number that you want the most. 15 to 16 2-drops. It plays the memory choke game very well. Against most decks that only have 2 to 3 2-drops, they're going to struggle, and you're going to put them to 1 turn after turn after turn, and they're going to be forced to give you 2, or they're going to give you 3 even, and then you can put them back to 1 or 2 by playing 2 2-drops. So they're not huge bodies, so it's not like it's completely an advantage, but by setting up a board that's really big, you set up your spirals to be as powerful as they can be. So no regrets. I did have to shave 1 Tsukaimon to make space for other cards in the deck, but I haven't regretted it yet. I haven't put myself in a position where, hey, I wish I had that last 2-drop. So 15's definitely been the magical number for me. Over here we've got everyone's favorite card, Pulsemon. I'm sure if you don't have Pulsemons, you're not happy about this. If you have Pulsemons, you're pretty happy about it. But if you compete in the tournaments, in the regionals, you get 2 Pulsemons. If you make it at least 3 rounds, participation prize is 2 Pulsemons. So they're still going to be pricey, even with all the tournament participation prizes, $20 to $30. If you don't have them, you should probably just compete and get them, because I don't think it's going anywhere. Pulsemon's insane. On play, if you have 3 more security, draw 1. If you have 3 or less security, gain a memory. If you have exactly 3, you get to do both. A 2-drop that draws a card is exactly what a deck like this needs, because there isn't that much card draw outside of Digivolving. So this is the guy that really glues it all together. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm glad I picked them up. I picked them up when they were more expensive, but I'm glad I did, because if I waited longer, I wouldn't have gotten the results that I've gotten. So no regrets. I'm getting 2 more Pokemon in the mail with this tournament, so it is what it is. Maybe sell them off, maybe trade them off. They're great trade fodder. So people who already have their 4 who are getting more, it's fantastic trade fodder having multiple Pokemons. So 4 of easy, no question. I thought about having 3, but I really just needed the 4th. Having as much card draw in this deck as possible really makes the difference. And probably one of the best yellow cards in the deck. One of the best yellow cards in the BT5 format is Starmons, in my opinion. This guy is so good. Just for 3 cost on play, for each Digimon you have in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1000 DP for the turn. So if you ever, like, 3 turns in and none of your guys die, you have 3 guys out, you get to promote something and slam a Starmons, that's a minus 5k. That's a 5k blocker out of your way. If you're ever in a position where they put you to 3 and you've got a bunch of guys, you can Starmon, kill a thing, and then start swinging and maybe get them for lethal. Starmons is incredibly powerful. This is one of the reasons to play yellow. It's Starmons and it's Spiral Masquerade, which we'll get to, but no regrets. This is why I was so tempted to play yellow. Otherwise, it would have been mono black, and I don't think it would have done as well. Because even if you don't kill a blocker, being able to kill their rookies, if they try to expand their board and they play a 2k or a 3k, you have Digimon, Starmon, put you over to 1 or 2, kill your rookie. It means A, they have 1 less body to attack you with, and B, they don't have something to digivolve into a blocker, which is what you really want to avoid. So Starmons, almost every point of the game is just fantastic, because you can even combo it with Spiral Masquerade or combo it with other Starmons. Being able to go Starmon to Starmon, guaranteeing you kill a blocker, or going Starmon into Spiral Masquerade, hits incredible math, and it just wipes the board and it can just win you games. So I'm always happy to see Starmons in my hand, and it's okay to waste one because you have 3 more, and if you play right, it's almost never a waste anyway. And then the last yellow Digimon in the deck are 2 Toreimon. Same reason the Tankmons are in the deck. It's a yellow level 4. It's a 6k. It survives Nidhogg's and the Shoutmons and the Jessmons. It's 1 cost, and it's a little more important than Tankmon, because I want my Command Dramons to hit the trash for my Dark Dramons. But for my yellow Digimon, I don't want them to just automatically die after they do their thing. Starmons and Pulsemons, once they have their on-plays activate, they're just 1k and 2k bodies respectively. So they're going to die to literally everything. Starmons especially, they're going to die to single Starmons, they're going to die to Pikmons and Koromons. So turning them into a 6k that draws you a card essentially because of Digivolution is fantastic. It keeps me in the game. It makes sure that I'm more likely to have a yellow Digimon when it comes back to my turn, so I can use my yellow options. And it's just a really powerful, aggressive card. That's one of the cards I made space for when I cut one of the Tsukaimon, and I've yet to regret it. Next, we're going to hit Tamers. I got 2 Izzy Izumis and 1 TK Takaishi. It used to be 3 Izzy's because it was a remnant from the slower mono black version, and I just never cut them because I felt like I wanted to be at 3 for my Dark Dramon. But with playing all the yellow cards and playing all the yellow options, I realized that I want more chances to have something yellow for my options. So I tested out the TK, and I really liked it. First, let's go over Izzy. Izzy's on-play reveal top 3 of your deck. If they're all black, then you gain a memory. I almost never gain the memory off this guy anymore because almost half the deck is yellow. I did do it once. I did it once at the tournament yesterday, and I was honestly more surprised than my opponent was. So it's good. It's really just the memory tamer. You want to make sure you go to 3, and also being able to rearrange the top of your deck is pretty powerful, because if you have a Command Dramon in those 3 and you have the rare Command Dramon, you can guarantee that you put the Command Dramon on the bottom of the stack. So guaranteeing even if you draw for turn and draw for Digivolution, there's at least 1 Command Dramon in there for your trigger. So that's been very useful. TK has been great because it lets me look at my security. If I have at least 1 yellow card, I can pick it and then recover. I have had to pick a black card out of it because I was forced to, and it's not great, but those times are very few and far between. And it's even got the cool synergy with Spiral Masquerade, because if you see Spiral Masquerade in your security and there's another yellow card, you just pick the other yellow card knowing the spirals in your security, so you play knowing that if you set your board up right and you put them in a position where they have to start being aggressive, you can punish them by having them flip Spiral Masquerade. So this has been a great split. I might cut one Izzy in the future and just have 2 Tamers, but for now I've really been enjoying having all 3 of them. And last but not least, we've got 2 Blinding Ray, 4 Spiral Masquerade. Blinding Ray is insane. It's yellow's Hammer Spark, and it's honorary black Hammer Spark, because this puts you in a position where I can, if you're at 1, you go to 3 in case you don't have a Tamer, and you can Dark Dramon for game. If you're at 3 or anything at 2 or more, you can go up to 4 or 5, and you can Spiral Masquerade, and it still be your turn, and then you can wipe the board and then probably get them for game. So it's been great. I like having 2. I think 2 is a good number for this deck. I haven't been a fan of having more, just because if you hit them in security, they do literally nothing. So, you know, I think 2 has worked well for me. And then the other main reason to be yellow is 4 Spiral Masquerades. It's insane. The card wins so many games. Like I said, the interaction, seeing it with TK is great. Being able to just, if they have a Tamer, and if you both have Tamers, being able to play 2-drop, go down to 1, and Spiral, put them to 3, but wiping their board, it's backbreaking. So who cares if they have a Tamer and they go to 3? If you just wiped everything they had, and they don't have anything in raising, you know, you just put yourself in a position where you're probably going to win that game, especially if you have more. Going Masquerade into Masquerade is backbreaking. It's one of the things that just wins you that game, and I don't regret having 4 at all. I don't regret putting this card in the deck. I don't regret being yellow because of this card. It's probably one of the best cards in BT5, hands down. So that's why it's in the deck, and that's the whole deck. That's Yellow D-Brigade, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Shoutouts to Zenitsu and Gaia Force Gaming for hosting tournaments that I've been able to test myself with, and, you know, prove that I can take this relatively meme deck and do great things with it. And, you know, shout out to Core TCG for holding the regionals. 24th out of 440 something people is insane. It's my first regionals. I'm super proud of myself, super excited. Hopefully I can, you know, keep the success going. Shout out to everybody who subscribed on my stream, or not subscribed, everyone who followed my stream. Shout out to everyone who was watching me play. It was a great time. If you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and drop it a like, drop me a comment, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I'll be making more deck techs, and then probably do some gameplay videos, and maybe even some pack openings. But until next time, guys, never stop gaming, don't forget to love each other, and have a great day. See ya.